This is Change Radio News, the news read by Chamisa Sibanda. And these are the headlines. People's President Advocate Nelson Chamisa speaks on the new government. Zimbabweans in the diaspora petition the government over the proposed Patriot Bill. And finally, Senator Marava recuperating well. And now for the news in detail. The People's President, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, in his Unity Day speech said, the harassment, intimidation, illegal arrest of opposition leaders, activists, and professionals is repugnant to unity and peace. It's deplorable how professionals have been harassed and persecuted during the course of the year simply because they've dared to exercise their freedoms. Unity does not mean a suppression of fundamental rights and freedoms. It celebrates and protects them. Zimbabwe Diaspora Voices, MDC Alliance External Assemblies, and other civic organizations have launched a petition to express their disapproval of the proposed Patriotic Bill. The bill, which seeks to criminalize engagement with foreign governments and demonstrations in foreign countries, has been widely criticized by Zimbabweans from across the political divide. Human rights activist Welcome Zimuto from the Czech Republic says ZANU-PF moderates and apolitical Zimbabweans will be affected. Here is the full audio.
Thank you, Change Radio. My name is Welcome. I just want to bring to attention on the bill of the Patriotic Bill, which is being proposed by the ZANU-PF government, led by Emerson Mnangagwa. I want to appeal, my major appeal to the people of Zimbabwe is that this bill will affect everyone, including those who are not and those who are not even involved in the political matters of the country. It is a wide-ranging bill which seeks to criminalize, which seeks to undermine basic human rights, fundamental freedoms. My appeal to the people of Zimbabwe is to sign the petition, which is being championed by the Diaspora Voices, opposition activists, and also civic society, and also non-partisan actors. So this bill is a bill for everyone, which will affect what and how they operate. And we appeal, and we are appealing that people take this bill seriously. And if ever it is going to be proposed, we are calling for everyone to reject it in its entirety. And thank you.
Senator Marava said he is recuperating well from home. He said he has been involved in party business, although he was not yet fit. Speaking to Change Radio, this is what he had to say.
I'm in touch with my staff and my province all the time. Of course, I'm now out of hospital, but I'm still recuperating at home in Harare before I leave for my single province, which I think is going to happen in a week's time. But I'm very happy that I'm doing quite well now, considering the fatality of the accident. It was very, very bad. But I'm happy to tell you that I'm in a week's time or so, I will be able to play soccer.
Meanwhile, Dr. Takara Firajou, PTUZ, has said that the education sector is in crisis as teachers are receiving starvation wages whereby their salaries are 35 United States dollars only. He also said the salaries cannot afford to feed the family. In an interview with Change Radio host Barbara, this is what he had to say.
The education system is in crisis, and the crisis is multifaceted. On one hand, teachers are receiving starvation wages. Their salaries was called from an equivalent 520 to 550 US dollars to about $35 US. So in terms of capacity, the teachers are incapacitated. When we say the teachers are incapacitated, we imply that a teacher cannot, the salary that a teacher is getting, cannot afford to pay rent, cannot afford even to pay for transport, let alone to pay school fees or feed their family. So we have a situation where a teacher whose service is offering a service in the terms of teaching cannot, is not able to send a single child to boarding school. We are aware that a teacher used to send about 5 students to a boarding school, but not even 5 teachers cannot send a single student or a single child to a boarding school. So there's a crisis where you are offering a service and your own children cannot afford this service. So what teachers are getting is so little, and what is welcome to the teachers is that other government workers are getting better salaries than teachers. There's a deliberate discrimination of teaching as a profession as compared to other workers. So that's what we imply by saying teachers are incapacitated. A teacher cannot afford to pay for medical bills. A teacher cannot afford to pay for rent. A teacher cannot afford to educate his own children or even to teach his own children or his own children cannot attend at a school where you are teaching.
Gender and Welfare Secretary, Almagated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, Muzare Mo Blessing Nyambare, said being a rural woman teacher is a real challenging task, especially during these COVID-19 times, as most women are being sexually harassed at work. Speaking to Change Radio News, this is what she had to say.
The sanitary wear issue is quite big, and this has forced many women to resort to using even old torn t-shirts for sanitary wear. So it's very hard for us. And we used to help even our learners who have problems at school. They can just go to their period during school. But now we can't even afford to give one pet to a child who is suffering, who is facing that. And remember, right now they are writing exams, and it's just difficult. Even schools themselves, they can't even afford to have to buy those to be in standby. So it's quite hard. And then the issue of exam ZIMSEC preparedness is quite an issue, and as Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, we did a survey, and we managed to collect a lot of errors which had happened at the ZIMSEC. So the ZIMSEC registers are infested with anomalies, many anomalies like incorrect spellings or names of candidates and wrong candidate birthdays, missing of candidate names and on subject registers. So imagine you have registered for a subject, then you go there, you want to write the exam, and then you are changed away because your name does not appear on the register and you've paid the money already. So we also find the ZIMSEC failed to issue statements of entries to candidates. So this also affected them, as some of them, they did not know when to write the exam, and wrong allocation of subjects to candidates. Imagine you have registered to write English, and then during you find out that you have registered to write physics. So it was quite a challenge which our learners faced. Also, shortage of exam question papers is mentioned by Dr. Joe, that a geography paper came without maps.
In other news, thousands of Zimbabweans are stuck at the Bay Beach border post although it is not clear what is causing the 15-kilometer-long traffic jam. Many of the people will be proceeding to different towns, but their hopes to get there before Christmas have been shattered as they are stranded. Let's listen to an audio that Change Radio acquired.
How long are these lines and what are drivers telling you?
Well, they are very long, Jeremy. Let me tell you that I've spoken to some of the drivers and road users here. They are telling me that some of them have been here for 3 days. Now we are in Mosina, heading towards the Bridge border post between South Africa and Zimbabwe. And I can tell you that these lines that you see behind me, my colleague will show you now, they stretch all the way from Mosina town. Now it's about 13 to 15 kilometers to the Bridge border. And on my left, I will ask Teboho to pen and show you some of the road users. They've decided to seek shelter because it's very hot here. Most of the travelers here, they are going to Zimbabwe, Kwabulawayo and Harare, but they say they've been here for days, so now they've decided to look for shelter because Mosina is extremely hot. As you can see here, this queue involves private small cars, trucks, taxis and buses. Everything is on standstill. For now, it's not clear, or we do not have an official explanation as to what causes these delays, but we understand, and it is believed, this is based on what some of the road users have told us, that they have heard that these delays are as a result of the COVID-19 screening at the border post. Now, things are moving very slow there. They are moving at a very slow pace.
Mr. Herbert Siziba received a befitting farewell from his family and members of the MDC Alliance Party, who stood in solidarity with the National Youth Assembly Secretary General Gift Ostalas Siziba. Comrade Ostalas spoke to our reporter and said,
"Yeah, thank you very much. The burial of my father, Pastor Herbert Siziba, went very well. He was buried in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province. As a family, we thank all the members of the democratic movement, in particular the President and the Vice Presidents and the Secretary General and the organizer of the party and the entire National Executive and members of the National Council and the Bulawayo Province leadership for the support they gave us as a family during this difficult period. As we sent my father to his place of final rest, we salute all Zimbabweans and members of the Apostolic Faith Mission of Africa for support they gave us as a family. The program went very well.
In the 1 million campaign, MDC Alliance spokesperson Fadzai Mahere said that the campaign has penetrated the rural areas, as prior to it, the party was not very visible, and it is a strategy that it is growing base. Still in other news, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, ACHPR, Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Expression and Access to Information in Africa, Commissioner Jamesina King, has written to President Emmerson Mnangagwa in connection with journalist Hopo Chingono arrests and persecution. Journalists and other media practitioners play an important role. They provide the public with the necessary information to develop an opinion and make informed decisions, Commissioner King said. Now in our entertainment news, a young upcoming comedian, Tinashe Fortune Manyoa, held his first show at Batanai Gardens. Change Radio spoke to one of the people who attended the event and preferred to speak on anonymity. This is what he had to say.
Well, thank you. I feel like we have very few comedians in Zimbabwe because this should be the first show I've attended, actually. A comedy show in Zimbabwe with a Zimbabwean. So I feel like it was a really big step for Tinashe, and shout out to him, my guy. I think it was pretty funny. We enjoyed it, though it was a bit long, and you know, for a start, I think it's okay. Although he has to improve a few things, you know, I don't think comedy should be too long, and I don't think you should like go for a long time, you know, without dropping a joke and consistency, you know. But I think overall it was okay. We enjoyed it. We had a nice time. Shout out to you, my guy. Keep up the talent, yo. We're proud of you. You're making us proud in Zimbabwe. Thank you, Tinashe.
And now to end the bulletin, here are your headlines once again. People's President Advocate Nelson Chamisa speaks on the new government. Zimbabweans in the diaspora petition the government over the proposed Patriot Bill. And finally, Senator Marava recuperating well.